Hey, what's up? It's Paul Maxey, and tonight I'm going to show you guys that for those who don't know about this, you can have one cartridge where you can play all of your Sega Genesis games that you could possibly own all on one cartridge. It's called the Everdrive, and I've had this for a few years and it still works great. How it works is it looks like a normal Sega Genesis cartridge, and you plug it in to your Sega Genesis. I've got the traditional Sega Genesis with the 32X and the Sega CD over there. But this thing, see how there's a SD card that fits inside? That's programmed with all the Sega Genesis and Sega Master System games that were ever made, for the most part. And you have all the games you have at one thing. Now, I did hold on to, I did hold on to a few of my Genesis games because I have a make-believe Genesis at my job, and I like to set it up at my station so the kids can play. But I sold most of my games. Now what you do is you plug in your cartridge into your regular Genesis and turn it on. Whoops. That ain't it. There you go. There it is. And you plug it in. You're still using your Sega Genesis controller or joysticks. So there's nothing different. You go to select game. And look at this. We got Genesis. It's in alphabetical, N through Z, number through M. We got Mega Drive. Mega Drive is the Japanese version of Sega Genesis. And SMS, that's Sega Master System. So they're all there. So you could go on Genesis like this. And there you have these lists. And more 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 lists. They're all there. And they pretty much all work. And the reason I did this was because I saw that this was available, and I was afraid that the value of my Genesis games would go down a little bit as far as I had a huge collection with some real rare ones and stuff. This one even has those Japanese titles like Eliminate Down. That's a Japanese Mega Drive cartridge. So you load it up, and it goes like this. It gets you nervous for a second because you don't think it's working. It does all this. And it comes on. Now, I made a lot of money selling my Sega Genesis collection. You think I got a sick Atari collection? I had one. There it is. There's the game. I had one hell of a Sega Genesis. See, it's loading up. All that from the one cartridge that I put in there. And this is a nice shooting game, Japanese version called Elemental Down, I think. And I like those kind of games. See, it looks great. And I'll tell you guys, I had the sickest Sega Genesis collection, complete in box. I was smart. In advance, when other people weren't thinking about Genesis, I'm always a little bit behind. I collected the boxes if I didn't have them, the manuals, and I put together these great complete games. And I had a big sale and got about $3,000 in about 3 months for my Genesis collection. I had Musha, you name it. It seemed to me that once people found out about this, that not as many people would need to have the physical copy. I know collectors would want always the physical copy, but I always felt like if you wanted my game, you'd have to buy it off me. And then I realized people could just have this. I got nervous. I thought it was time to sell my collection. And I made a little bit more room up in my cupboard. I mean, you guys know I have enough games as it is. Look at all that. PS2. I mean, I don't want to be a hoarder. So I made a tough choice, and I sold off all my Sega physical Genesis copies, and I made a fortune. And what's great is I can still play these games. I prefer playing these kind of games with my joystick controller. But see, I loaded it up, and there I am. Whoops, I'm trying to hold the phone. And it's a great shooting game, man. I love these kind of games. I do love my Atari. I love my PlayStation. But this is just to show you, it worked. It's got your Sonic the Hedgehog, your Mickey Mouse Castle of Illusion, all the great Sega Genesis games. And now, even though I've been talking about Atari lately, I'm getting pretty hyped on my Sega. But I mainly broke this out to show you guys. Now, I still have the Sega CD and the 32X, and I don't have a way to play those any other way than having my physical copies. So I still have a nice box back there with my Sega CD games for real. And as far as I know, that's the only way you can play Sega CD. So good. So I won't sell my collection. That makes it easy. My particular Everdrive cart doesn't have the 32X games, so I kept my 32X games. And that's what I did. I mean, yeah, you might argue if I would have held on to my Sega Genesis collection, it would have been worth a lot more money later. But then again, as technology comes in, and the average guy can just play all these games on one cartridge like this Everdrive, I got scared that the value of my collection was going to go down. And I brought in premium money. 60, 70, 80 bucks for many of my cartridges, and even over 100 for a few. And like Hellfire and Musha and Truxton, got good money for Truxton Complete. And I don't miss it. I'm okay because I can play all these games even on the same controller. But I won't sell my Atari games like that. I sold the Sega Genesis collection because of the big money that I knew I was going to get. And I don't have any regrets. Later on I'll show you guys my actual 32X and Sega CD collection. And I know only true video game fans are interested in all this. But thanks for checking it out. Boy, it makes me want to play. Once you plug in your Everdrive cartridge and realize you can play all those games, huh. So if you got a Sega Genesis sitting around and you're willing to spend about 100 bucks, maybe it's cheaper now on eBay, get the Everdrive. You can play every game that's possibly been made for Sega Genesis. Alright, thanks for watching my long video. Have a good night.